All right, here we go. We'll be going live here in 5, 4.
It's real. I've seen it.
3.
Take your little.
Cheers.
Cheers, brother. All right, here we go. Check this out. We'll let some people come on.
Yeah.
We're all like.
Did you get the alert that we're on?
Yep.
We're on. All right, here we go. What's up, everybody? Pinche Ben here, sitting next to Jimmy. Welcome to another episode of the Cast&Blast podcast. We got a special guest with us today, Chad McLean from Sendero Shooting Sports.
Awesome.
Chad has a state-of-the-art freaking indoor shooting range here in Belton, Texas, and man, we're just going to be picking his head on how he got such an awesome layout, because we went down there the other day and got a tour of the place, and I was floored with just the planning, the execution of where everything was laid out. He has an outstanding arm room where you have a great selection of stuff. And what really surprised me was your silencer kiosk.
That's what impressed you.
Well, I mean, I could talk about other things, but really, for me, as a guy who's going in there, a gun lover, you know, knowing what I need for my arsenal, like that's where I was like, what is this?
Well, the space and the layout and
so if I could explain this place real quick, man. So just pulling up to the building is an impressive look from the curb, right? Then you get inside. As soon as you walk in the door, it's just like you are overwhelmed with the attention to detail. I'm talking about from the stained floors to the taxidermy in there to the placement of your weapons to
the front desk with someone there greeting you as you come in.
Yep. To your the way you have your. I like how you have your long rifle range and your pistol range separated. And then me as a customer, the first time I went in there, your safety brief and the way that was organized. So, man, let me introduce you and turn it over to you and let you talk about your business, because nobody knows it better than you, man. But guys, if you're watching live, we're gonna be shooting the shit with you here, man. You know how we do it, man. It's raw, unedited. I won't say uncensored, but it is, because we don't hold back.
And we're live.
We're going to let it go.
And since it's live, we really can't edit it. So we're going to be having our buddy Brandon mediate. Is it mediating? Moderating.
Moderating.
He can mediate if we get into a hot...
There'll probably be some mediation.
Yeah, so we get a heated conversation.
Y'all don't need to say that.
Yeah, so...
Can we cut that back?
Yeah, he'll be moderating live. So if you guys want to comment, man, we're going to try our best to respond to you guys, man. If you have questions for Chad or one of us, man, drop them on the comments, man. And do us a favor. If you're watching now, man, hit that like button, smash that share button, get this out in front of your friends and anyone you know that likes fishing and hunting, because we're going to be talking with I like to say an arms expert, man. So I'll turn it over to Chad.
I've had him all my life, dude.
Hey, so debatable, because we have an injury. So you're
it's like if I can pull this in, I could be your small arms dealer.
Small arms dealer. All right, man. So why don't you introduce yourself, Chad, man? Tell the folks how you got started in the business, man. And what we want to do is we want to bring other entrepreneurs on here, talk about their business, talk about their grind, and we just got a great respect for the work you've put into it, man. And we just want to hear it from you.
So talk about other entrepreneurs as well.
No, man, let's be selfish and talk about
Can we at least mention lick 'em and stick 'em?
Hey, man, it's going to be hard not to, bro.
It is hard.
It is hard not to, man. Lick 'em, stick 'em is blowing.
He's out there grinding hard.
It's everything.
Yeah, he's blowing up, lick 'em, stick 'em. Yeah.
That was seriously, like yesterday, Brandon was there. That was... Me and my wife are sitting up there and we're talking with Brandon, and he's like, yeah, lick 'em and stick 'em. And I'm like, oh my God.
You got Cast&Blast, lick 'em, stick 'em,
So no, it's, first I want to thank you. I think you're the first person that's ever said my business's name right, Sendero. Everybody else is Sendero and Sendero. I don't know.
So how did you get that name, man? What locked you in on that? You and I have talked a little bit about it, but let the people know,
Oh, sure. We're going to talk a lot more here in a minute.
Yeah.
So we have a business called Sendero Whitetails, and it just kind of stuck with, hey, Sendero Whitetails, Sendero Shooting Sports. You know, it's Sendero, it's the lane. We're shooting down in South Texas. So to me, it was like, hey, I've got rifle lanes, rifle ranges. Like, it'll work.
Yeah. I didn't know what Sendero was as soon as Ben told me what it was, because I guess it's like a South Texas slang, right?
It's just something we adopted as so for you guys that are wondering, what is Sendero? Down in South Texas, we use the term Sendero for a clearing, right?
Yeah, clearing through the brush, like exactly what you would call a
lane.
A shooting lane.
So as soon as he told me what it was, I was like, I know exactly
then
what that means.
Then I take him down to South Texas, and he sees the brush country, and he sees the necessity.
Oh, yeah.
And then he's like, I see Senderos now. I know what you're talking about. I said,
Man. Yeah, you know, when you take people down there for like the first time, and
it's a different planet.
Yeah, especially when they're from up here.
Yeah.
It's like I tell them, I'm like, just, you know, you wound a deer, probably what's going to happen is you're going to stay in the Jeep. If I start screaming, you just holler back, and that way I know which way I need to drag this deer.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, don't get out, especially at night, because as soon as you start going through the brush, everything out there bites, sticks, pokes. I mean,
once you get in it, there's no left, right, up, down. You're immersed in it.
I mean, you get to points of parts through there where it's, you know, you'll come like some little clearings and stuff, but I mean, most of the time it's just everybody's like, "How did you get through there?" You know,
Yeah.
You wear some thick pants, and you got to have some pretty thick skin, and you just go. So when you wound a deer, dude, they're going, you know,
they're moving to it. They're used to it.
Yeah. So I do want to thank Cast and Blast. Sorry, dude, this couch over here, man.
The Cast and Couch. You guys know what's up.
If you're wondering why you got this cover on it.
It's well broke in.
Oh my God.
Trust me, it's not yogurt, but.
Oh, geez. So no, it's So I shot competition. Now I'm not like the best in the world. Everybody knows that. But I started shooting. I really liked the competition aspect. I started, I don't know, man, a long time ago. Had a guy built me some 3 guns, had a shotgun, AR, was running pistols. He custom built my stuff for me. And so I started running that. And I didn't really get into like the actual competition stuff. It was more, hey, we're going to go out here and we're going to go to a range and we're just all going to shoot against each other kind of thing, like a local match and stuff. And then once I got up here, I kind of started getting into actually going places and shooting. And one of my friends shoots revolver. I started off with a 1911, and I got really interested in revolver.
Okay.
And so I started shooting that a lot, and I started noticing that, hey, I'm actually really good. And like compared to the national shooters, I'm behind the ball a little bit, but I mean, you can go into the range and see all my trophies and plaques, and you know, so I had some mess ups whenever I went in and I qualified. We call it like, so you go in and everybody shoots this stage, and that's how you get your ratings and all that. Well, I had like a bad fumble up stage, so I was like one of the lowest, you know, that there was that you could be. And I was like, dude, I can't help it. I'm going to Smith & Wesson Nationals. I have to have this. I'm just going to run with it. So I went up there and I shot Smith & Wesson Nationals. And in my division, which this was actually really my 3rd or 4th match to shoot with the revolver, I came in 1st place in my division in my class. It's one of the trophies I'm most proud of.
Is this on the national level?
Yeah, this was the first Smith & Wesson backup gun nationals that they had.
Man, yeah, I mean,
that's not easy. You're up there with some sticks.
I was proud of it because, you know, it is, you know, 1st place national, but I'm not proud of that I wasn't really in the top of my game. But shooting against the people I was shooting against, it was close, you know. But there weren't a lot of high-ranking shooters there shooting revolver. So, somebody can come in and go, oh, you know, that the level you shot at. And I was like, there were some great people there, which is why I didn't get bumped up.
Hey, man, we don't need to put an asterisk by your trophy, man. You earned it, and that's your trophy.
Well, the thing with that is, like, so when you go to these matches, it's like in all these divisions, you have all these different ratings, and then you have the division champ. So that's like I beat everybody. Mm-hmm. So it finally got to where all these matches I was going to, I'm walking away with the division champ. So no matter what my rating was, I'm still, except for one I went to, that guy whipped me bad. But I mean, it was nice to go and be like, hey, I got the plaque. I beat everybody, and
not everybody gets that plaque. You got it. So yeah, I'd be proud of it.
Yeah, when you say like that one guy, when you're at that level, you're already, you know what I mean? So that's pretty cool.
Man, I've done a lot of training. I've done a lot of shooting. I've slacked off the past 3.5, 4 or 5 years because I'm building a range, dude.
Yeah.
And, it was going to be great. It's like, hey, I love shooting. Let me open up a range, and now it's.
So you're certified in a lot of different things too, huh?
Oh gosh, man, I got so many certifications.
What are some of those? Like some of the?
I hesitate to say one of them, but everybody recognizes it. So I'm an NRA instructor, but that's not something I'm.
Well, I mean.
So I'm going to get my USCCA instructor certificate in like a couple of weeks, but I mean I'm an NRA RSO. I'm a Glock certified armorer. I'm a Glock trainer. I mean, you got to go through all these classes. Sure. And like Glock, you have 5 levels on Glock, and so depending on how you do in your training course to be a trainer, you get it's either up to 5 or 4 stars, and I've either got 3 or 4. I just missed that last star by just like a little bit. So yeah, man. I mean, I shoot not as much as I used to. I'm getting back into it. I'm starting to go and do more and more and more, which is why I can't shoot right now because I just broke that finger, Dude, this thing keeps going down on me.
That's what she said.
I think in that drawer, there's some blue pills in that drawer if you can open it.
So the last live I went on, we're sitting there and we're talking. I get a text message from my wife and it says, hey, remember you own a business and like your customers are watching you on here. And it was kind of like, oh, great. Hey, this is, should I tune it up or like turn it down?
Yeah, it's a balance, right?
Yeah, and it wound up, the last one live we did, it went really like off in left field. Like,
well, you guys know that our audience is probably a bunch of degenerate, disabled vets that have bigger problems than, getting their feelings hurt over something we say. So we do our best to try to, keep it real, keep it relaxed for one, you know what I mean? Because if I was going to sit here and tell you, hey, we don't say this, we don't do that, you're not going to be as comfortable. We try to get everybody just comfortable, just like I said.
Yeah, not doing the robot scripted.
Yeah.
Dude, I went to a Battle Buddy 3-gun event in Louisiana at one of my friends' houses, and we go up there and it's all disabled veterans, wheelchairs, missing legs. Some of them have.
Hopefully they find them one day.
Dude, that was dark and that was fast.
It's
talking about the veteran deal. I mean, these guys are up there in wheelchairs and they're shooting and we're pushing them, and we're helping them run through the stages and push through the courses. And I was kind of not myself at first. I think y'all seen like where I'm at, but so I was like really cautious as to what I was saying, and then. They just started letting out on each other, dude.
That's how we are.
We're both disabled vets, so like for all you out there, the world that we came from, we hope that you understand. We know that you understand, and for those that have never been in that world, we hope that you understand.
Well, it comes down to like these guys. I mean, they're doing stuff that they enjoy. Because they need that, they love the shooting. They want to move forward. They want to be treated like everybody else. And I mean, when you go to help push them like to the stage, they're like, "Back off, dude! I've got."
I don't even want DV on my plate.
Yeah,
I don't
need
It's just one of those things. So I totally get it, man. We do so much with veterans that when we get together, man, it starts to get real dark.
You're gonna have thick skin. For anybody that's not a veteran or not kind of used to that, and you get a bunch of vets around, then. Man, people are like, hey, man, take it easy on that guy. You're being pretty hard on him. You're like, bro, shut up, man.
Yeah,
like it's fine.
So we got this member at our range, and he got hit with an IED in Iraq, and he lost both his legs below the knees. So, dude, like one of my guys is at the back, and he's like, "Hey, no open-toed shoes. Don't take drinks in." And this dude starts laughing, and he's like, "Damn, dude, I left my legs at home." And the guy was just mortified.
Yeah.
And so he's talking to me, and he's like, "Dude, I realized a long time ago they're not growing back." And so now it's like a big, some people that don't understand. Oh, you're disrespecting vets. It's like, no, these guys.
Yeah.
You go to open the door for them, and they're like,
he's probably the most active guy.
Oh,
member you
he's
have.
great. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I love this dude, man. He's awesome. I had a celebrity come to the range, and I asked him, I said, hey, dude, do you want to meet him? Because this is one of my friends. And he goes, dude, I've always wanted to meet him. So he like, I'm like, hey, wheel your ass over here and meet him. He's like, all right, I'm coming. So he shook his hand, and I'm like, dude, don't be an asshole. Stand up and shake the man's head. and the guy that was standing there, he didn't know. He didn't know what to say. And he's like, it's okay, man. It's all right,
Yeah.
And it's like, man, but yeah, I mean, we got a lot of vets around here.
Yeah, you're in a military industrial complex inside, the Fort Cavazos area. You know what I mean? They just
Fort Cavazos.
changed it from Fort Hood. Well, I do. I have to do my 2 or 3 bullets of political correctness in my podcast. No, I'm just kidding. So you're in the Fort Hood area, man. This is nothing but retired vets. They're active duty. You got a huge clientele of, we'll say, military background. You know what I mean? You could say active duty veterans or whatever, but you actually have to dive in the culture, man. You know what I mean? If you sit there and you separated yourself from the understanding, you would probably lose a lot of customers, because when people try to treat us different, I don't feel welcome. But when you treat me welcoming and you're just there and I can go be myself, like I'm at home. Yeah. And I've been in your place, and people feel, honestly, it's like every customer I see walk in the door, you make them feel like they got a key to the house. You know what I mean? And I really appreciated that, just seeing that. You know what I mean?
I wanted to get away from the typical, most of the gun stores you go in, you walk in, and it's the cobweb deer heads on the wall.
Man,
the wood cases.
We experienced it today.
Yeah, hey, what do you want, man? What are you here for? Man, I'd like this. All right, we don't need that. You need this. I'm a professional. And it's like, dude, I'm coming here to buy something. And, and a lot of women, like my wife, when I took her to a bunch of ranges, she's like, I'm not comfortable here. It's like, why?
She's seen a lot of what you don't want.
Yeah, it's like, why are you not comfortable here? And it's, this. And I'm like, okay, well, we'll put that on we'll make sure we take care of that whenever we open the place up. The biggest thing was the bathrooms. And I'm like, it got to the point where I was like, I'm tired of hearing about bathrooms. That's going to be my advertisement on I-35. I big, clean bathrooms.
Yeah. After seeing your place, right? I'm a person. I'll only take a dump at home. There's 2 places on the road.
Where did this go?
Here we go.
There's 2 places on the road. I'll go Buc-ee's, and now after going to your place, if I gotta go, I'm stopping at I gotta be like, man, I'll buy something.
I'll buy something. So if you're saying we're hunting in Lampasas, bro, the closest thing to your house is well, no, it's.
I'd have to go past it, but say I'm in Waco.
Say we're in Waco.
Well, I'd pass by Buc. Either way, I'm stuck. If that's the closest place,
bro, you're gonna have a spot in there where he's gonna go.
Dude, this dude is never riding in my damn truck.
The point you might not want to, because I've been out in the field with him so many times, and this dude utilizes the tree line like nobody.
The point I'm making is your place is so clean. Like, I have a phobia about it, right? But your place, I'd feel comfortable. That's all I'm saying.
So clean, I would shit there.
There you go. Do you have bidets?
Yep. Man, if that's what you want, I'm sure I can put it in.
Because you'll never leave if that's the case.
Oh, my God, man. Here we go.
We're about to close, man. It's like,
I'll be out. Hold on. You talked about celebrities coming in there. Other than me and Ben walking in, who's the next biggest celebrity?
Damn. I love that, man. That'd be me when I walk in the door. No, I've got. They're shooting guys.
Obviously, celebrities in the shooting world.
Yeah, and shooting industry.
Yeah. Well, man, that's pretty.
I'm very reserved to talk about them because
nobody likes name dropping.
Yeah, you don't got to name drop.
We don't have to do that.
Yeah.
But
I could. I'm not. Brandon's over there smiling at me, going, "Do it." There's just some things when you talk. So I was friends with one of them before I ever opened the range. So it's like sometimes he'll say, "Hey, dude, I want to come help you out and do something for you." So we'll set something up, and then. Other than that, it's like I try to go through the proper channels.
Okay.
Just to, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you're a humble dude, man, and I like that about you. But at the same time, why don't we give a couple shout outs to some people that you've worked with, as far as like, hey, man, you guys kind of helped me get this this thing. Yeah, you helped me get this going, and now we're at a place where
I'm gonna rip the mic cable out again.
oh, that headset cable. Yeah,
I know.
We don't need it now.
Take it off,
but no, man. I mean, there's some people along the way that definitely helped us go and get where we're going and stuff. And we always give shout outs or whatever. But you could name a couple of people that, like, yeah, man, those guys came through. Maybe your last event. You know what I mean? Like some people that are at the top of your head right now. I know for a fact that I want to say thank you to this person.
Man, there's. How about I do this? Bass Electric.
Okay.
They came and did my electric. If I've had an issue, they've had it taken care of. Heart of Texas Landscape.
Yeah.
I have been doing our own landscaping for this whole time.
Beautiful area out there.
Yeah, they finally came out. Big story behind the landscaping deal, but yeah, somebody posted an anonymous comment on the Sendero, but not our page, but the Sendero Estates page. Anonymous. I wonder when Sendero is going to pull their weeds. And this dude came on. He's like, "Why don't you go talk to him? You know what the hell's this anonymous?"
The keyboard warriors.
Yeah, we talked about those.
Yeah, so we went through that. But no, I mean, Heart Texas Landscape. One of my friends that is pretty much runs that place over there. He's not the owner, but he's like right under him. He's a big duck hunter, man. I mean, and he hunts with me at the ranch. I mean, Action Target is who did all my stuff. And you're like, you're writing it down, yeah. Action Target, I'm an Action Target range, so Action Target came in and did a bunch of stuff for me. Man, I mean, it was a lot of great people I worked with to get, some not so good. But I'm not gonna.
We have those stories too, man. But
as far as like thanking somebody, I mean, my wife for not divorcing me. I mean, that was a undertaking. My dad for helping me out and helping me make this happen.
Yeah.
This just close support to get me through.
So it would have took a lot. I mean, because I guess we haven't gotten into the details of how big and grand it actually is. So.
How many square feet is your building? Like, how many? When we say I have a facility, what is when you say, "Hey, this is my facility and this is what we have to offer"? Like, run us through that. Like, what's the square footage? Like, what are your amenities?
So, like, if the tax people listen, it's 2 square feet.
There you go. Yeah.
It's big. It's patterned off of another range in North Texas, in Oklahoma called Wilshire Gun, which was actually used to be a Piggly Wiggly, and they invented the shopping cart there. Like, that's what the shopping cart. I'm going through the building with this dude, the owner, and he's kind of the owner partner. He's like, "Yeah, my place is great." Da, 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 da. And he's like, "Yeah, the shopping cart was invented here. This is a Piggly Wiggly." And I was like, "What? Cool. Like, really?" He goes, "Yeah." And I said, "So that's your claim to fame?" Is that there ain't been nothing invented in mine because we, actually built it up. But no, I mean, the 105-yard rifle range was supposed to be 115. Mm-hmm. Evidently, I can't measure. I don't know a guy that can. Mm-hmm. But I believe right now I'm the 3rd longest public indoor range in the U.S.
Yeah, well,
not by much, but it's always, hey, he was 101 yards. He's 103. Mm-hmm. Let's get just make it a little bit longer, So we did 105.
So how far would you have to drive to sight in to shoot a rifle indoors in the AC 105 yards? I don't know. I don't know how far you would have to go to be able to do that.
I mean, 100 yards, I can go with that on you. I mean, and do people use the 105? I mean, some guys are just like, "I'm going to run it all the way," but it's a guy thing.
It's like 7-minute abs and someone saying, "Man, I can do it in 6."
Yeah.
That's it, dude.
But there's nowhere else in driving distance that I know of that you can shoot out that far indoors with AC, a rifle, 100 plus yards.
And I mean, I love competition. Close? No, not that so the ones that I know of that I've been to, I know there's 2 in Austin, possibly 3 that are 100 or
right there,
101. Depends on how far they, ours is measured from the firing line to where the trap starts, because that's as far as the trolley can go. Mm-hmm. I mean, does it make me any better? I mean, I don't know. I like my
It's just bragging rights, man.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of cool. You know what I mean? And if you're going to do something, why not do it different in what you would consider better, right? Like, you know, hey, that guy's got 100, I got 105, or you know.
I mean, it was always going to all these ranges and looking and going, you know, what do they do? What did they do right? What did they do wrong?
Sure.
And then talking to the people. I mean, in most of the ranges I went to, I went to some really cruddy ranges, and I've been to some really phenomenal. I mean, I shot in the range where they built the rail gun for World War II. I mean, I actually shot a competition match in that range where that gun was tested, had the rails on the floor. I mean, it was nuts. But, I mean, it's going by and looking. And, you know, most of the guys you talk to, if you come talk to me and go, hey, what'd you do wrong? I'll tell you.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a secret, you know.
No, I mean, you're not afraid to share lessons to be learned with someone else, you know. We don't have to look at everybody as a threat or look at everybody as competition. And competition is what drives us to be better. So sometimes, you know, sharing something that could possibly give someone else the edge would challenge you to improve your processes, your systems, you know. So it's not always a bad thing, you know.
It gets really hard when it's a design issue.
Yeah.
You know, when you've got 22-foot tilt walls, it's like, how the hell do I fix this? Well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, with the complex that big, it's probably hard to not have a few small issues that probably only you know about.
Easy things. I mean, man, there's probably not a spot on that floor or tilt wall that I haven't walked on.
Yeah. Can you think of one thing, and I'm not going to ask you to share it, but can you think of one thing just out of, you know, for people that are out there that have a business, right? All of us, if you asked us right now, like, there's one thing that's an eyesore to me, there's one thing that drives me crazy about this, you know what I mean? Do you have one thing in your facility that'd be like, man, if I could change this, I'd change that? And I won't ask you to share it, but like nobody knows that business, nobody knows that facility. Like,
just don't say the bathrooms.
Yeah, we've already vouched for the bathrooms.
Okay, so there's some things I wish I would have changed. I wish I had a double door opening so I could pull a car or a vehicle into the range. Into the range.
That's cool.
To do, you know, tactical shooting stuff. And the discussion has been made about where could we do it, and if we were going to, could we make it happen?
Man, I love you sharing that, because, you know, that gives people an idea of like where your head's at. You know what I mean? Like, it gives people an idea to know that, one, we know we don't always have the best everything. And although I will say, I believe your place is a state-of-the-art facility, you are humbly saying, hey, this is what I would do to improve it, or this is where my head's at, thinking how I can make it better. So that's a testament to entrepreneurs out there thinking, hey, I have a great product, right? And you stand by your product. You believe your product.
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, I took.
But then there's that humbleness to go, but I know I could do this better, or I know I can make this better. And that tells me a lot about you. It tells me a lot about your business. It tells me a lot about the direction your business is going. And that's exciting, being your friend.
When people come in, like, they'll come in and they'll have shot at other ranges. And like, if you ever sit here and ask me, you know, hey, there's some other ranges around here, you know, what do you recommend? You know, as a friend on the side, I may tell you these are my concerns that I have. But as a customer coming in, it's more along the lines of, let me take you through a walkthrough of my facility. Let me take you into the range. Let me show you what we do to protect you that you didn't know. Because ignorance isn't a bad thing, but a lot of people are ignorant to what gun ranges are. Yeah. Like the last family that I took in there, we're standing in my range. It wasn't running. It was just the trap was running, but the ventilation wasn't running. We didn't have people in there. So it was like, hey, I'm just going to take you in this range so we don't have any shooters. And we're sitting there talking, and she's discussing some things with me about where she's a current member. And I was like, oh, yeah, great, you know, just whatever you want to say. And I was like, hey, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell me what it smells like in here. And she kind of...
Fabuloso.
She just, God, man, the Fabuloso stuff. So she starts smelling, and she goes, I said, what do you smell? And she goes, I don't know. And I said, do you smell gunpowder? Do you smell, you know, lead? Do you smell, you know, you can't smell lead, but I mean, what do you smell? She goes, it doesn't smell like a gun range. Yeah. I said, that's because of my ventilation system.
It's a goal.
Let me take you back into the back. You know, we walked through the range, showed her the ventilation system, how it works, the HEPA filters, the bag filters that go into an AC filter, and they classify it as hospital plus air. So, and then I showed her how my drops came down, and so that each lane you typically have you have your own ventilation.
Yeah.
You have your own drop, your own diffuser. Even though it looks like one solid unit, it's not. It's actually 8 different units that are connected to a pipe that Action Target comes and adjusts as the ventilation turns on to a certain foot per second, so that the targets don't flap, but it takes everything away. So what I would tell them is
very effective process. Yeah.
If that's not a state of the art facility, then I don't know what is.
Yeah.
So a lot of them will have a ventilation system inside the facility that blows into the range for cool air.
Yeah. Moving air.
Yes. And then what they'll have in the back, they'll have this exhaust fan that exhausts out.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a complete circulating system.
So you're just pushing air in and sucking it out is what they're doing.
Yeah. So what normally happens is you'll freeze on your backside because you'll have the AC blowing on you, and on the front you're sweating to death.
Yeah.
And then you notice all the crap on your shooting glasses. That's from shooting, and this air blowing on the back, vortexing around into your face. So everything you're shooting is coming right back in your face. Because as it goes around you, it swirls.
Yeah, right.
So, that was Action Target's deal. They're like, hey, we want you to go check out some ranges. So, man, I went to ranges in Oklahoma, Texas, Utah, Florida. Everywhere we went, it was Oklahoma. Let's stop and go visit ranges. And it's just, after you know that, and you start realizing how everything works, and then we have had the complaints about we're too expensive, and it's like, if I can teach these people what they're getting here, then they can compare to what others have. I'm not about bad mouthing.
Your prices are literally. We've done our research. You're like $5 more than that competing. When you compare apples to apples. Now I can't compare you to 50% of the ranges around because your facilities are just different. So when I'm comparing you apples to apples, it's just a few dollars really more. But you say, well, what am I getting in that? You've already exposed that, and like you said, if I could just get the customer to understand the value behind this, all that also contributes to comfort, right? When you're in a place and you're comfortable. That allows you to increase your confidence with your weapon. That allows you to increase your concentration. That allows you to get more effective with your tools. That allows you to sharpen your skills. And to me, when you have that ability in a building, because I've been in your range and I've been in others, I was really able to really just concentrate on the task that I came in to do.
And I got out.
And it was just like, I didn't have that chaos that I get at other ranges when I'm in there. I'm like you said, I'm sweating, I'm nervous, I'm a little apprehensive.
A lot of ranges are so compact, like you said, just dark, spider webs around, compact. You don't have freedom of movement. It's loud. In gun range, it's going to be loud, but not the way your complex is set up. Your soundproofing and your sound, but
there's a lot of soundproofing in there. And when you're looking at the baffles on the ceiling, that's all there for sound abatement. So when they shoot, it absorbs the sound instead of shooting it right back at the shooters. And then the blast baffles that I have in front of the stalls. Yep. You ever been to a range where somebody sticks an AR out there and starts shooting and you see their muzzle and you're getting this blast in your face? I paid extra for that, but to me that's an improvement that I was hoping people would catch on to, that hey, and all my stalls are 308 rated.
Yeah.
If you're standing next to me in the stall, and I hesitate to say stupid, but an incompetent person, and I let a round go off through that stall, it's not plywood, it's not cinder block, it's not, anything other than, mine is plastic with AR 500 steel behind it from the floor to the ceiling. So, now you're worried about taking your kid to a range because of people, and people are dangerous and they've got guns. So we try to do the best that we could. We have had some changes where we used to let people set stuff on the back of the wall. Set your stuff, unload in the stall, so you can set your stuff at the back wall. and then come back. So what that turned into is people pulling guns out of their bags, muzzling everybody, going up to the firing line.
I like your rules that you have in place. I think that made me feel comfortable when I went in. It's I can't see anybody seeing that as a setback. I see.
But at the end of the day, you're not going to make everyone happy.
Negative Google reviews if you want to see some setbacks.
But it's just those guys, if you want to go shoot,
there's only a couple.
Yeah, if you want to go shoot, if you want to go shoot in the back, like off the tailgate at the ranch, if you go do it. If you know what I mean. If you want a controlled environment with comfortable, air conditioning,
we have to. Sweating, we had to make our rules dumbed down to protect everybody from the lowest grade shooter. The person that comes in that doesn't know what they're doing, that's what our rules cater to. And the people who understand safety, which everybody who owns a gun should understand safety and understand our rules. Should. And when they go in and it's like, hey, dude, you can't do this. Oh, y'all are like, and one guy put, we're like Nazis on ammo inspection, which was funny because, the range I'm going to now, they don't do ammo inspections. Well, guess what? They do now.
This isn't a wish.com range.
Yeah, it's like, hey, that range that you don't like mine because we do ammo inspections? I've got a facility to protect. Mm-hmm. And now that range that he went to, they do ammo check now because I'm just going to say there were some issues.
Yeah.
Some bad issues.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, I think we need to do some ammo.
It's for their safety, man. It's for their safety. But, talk about how, like, as a range owner, or I won't even, it's cool to be a range owner. Kudos to you. But, I mean, just anyone who works in a range, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of responsibility there. There's a lot of
liability there.
To talk about that, like, hey man, like, we are not only just trying to protect ourselves. I'm sure you want to come home every day.
Absolutely.
But you're protecting that client as well. So it's in their best interest to place these rules.
The coming in with a cased firearm.
Yeah.
Man, and I hesitate to really go into it because I don't want to scare people off. Because what I'm coming at is from dang near 3.5 years of experience of dealing with a few unsafe people.
All it takes is one.
That's why we are very strict at the front. And Clint Smith with Thunder Ranch said, you want a safe class? Let me shoot every one of you right now. And then when we come back, we'll have the safest class possible. I've been shot before.
There you go.
I don't want to be shot again.
Yep.
But people, they treat their guns irresponsibly because they've never been shot.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody, if I come at you with a knife, you've been cut, you're going to move.
Yeah.
But these guys that are just messing around with guns, it's like, dude, once you shoot yourself or see your buddy get shot, maybe you'll realize that you're actually dealing with something there that's
there's always a lot of I don't know if it's pride
and that has never happened, by the way. Our rules, the way we go in, do our range checks,
prevents it.
We are very preventative on that.
We're good.
A lot of people get a gun in their hand and there's like a pride thing that comes in. It seems like they'll be like, I'm the safest, I know more about it than
those are the scariest guys.
Exactly. But they're also ignorant to so many different things that come down to it. And then, like you said, they become the most unsafe, scariest guys. But they're the first one to brag about how much they know about it.
I was going to ask you that. You mentioned earlier, I think you said the word ignorance, and then you said something else. Now, what's scarier to you? Ignorance, meaning I am completely naive and oblivious to gun safety or something like that, right? I'm walking in, I don't know anything. I'm going to ask you because I don't know. What's scarier, that or bad habits? Now, I'm talking about, like, there's that guy, and we dealt with it a lot in the military. There's that guy who's like, oh, man, I know everything about guns. You can't tell me anything about it and this and that. And
we've dealt with it out in the field with clients as well.
Sure. I will take somebody who's never shot a gun any day to train over somebody who has.
I'm the same way.
Yep.
And it's not so much bad habits, but it can be. But most of the time when you're dealing with somebody who's messed with guns a lot, I compare it to playing the lottery. Mm-hmm. Everybody's like, damn, this happened, and it's like, and like I said, nothing has happened at the range.
I'm gonna knock for you.
Yeah.
Too.
So, but I mean,
so I know that's not.
Whenever you play the lottery, if you play it once a year, dude, I'm playing it 15, 20 times a day. Every time I pick up a gun, stuff's gonna happen. You can just only hope that you're following safety rules. Yes, you're going to do something and probably cause a negligent discharge, which is what I go over in my class. It's hard to say. If you have a negligent discharge, you need to do it as safely as possible. And if you're trying to clear your gun and you pull the bolt back and you don't see anything and you forget to stick your finger up in there and you close that bolt and you walk outside and you go to clear which has happened. I've seen it happen. And they're like, what the hell?
I don't know how it happened.
As opposed to doing it inside the house, you're actually going to go outside. And so, there's safety things that we do, but you get complacent with firearms. After a while, it's like, dude, this is my gun I've carried all day, every day. And it's like, you learn different ways to do things. Like instead of pulling the bolt back and firing it, what I'll do is I'll check and I'll pull the trigger and I'll run the bolt forward. Yeah. So I'm not popping the firing pin, but that's just me. That's kind of, but yeah, man, guys that it's funny. A lot of the training I do, one of the things I say is women pay me to teach them how to shoot. Men pay me to show me how they shoot.
Yeah, both he and I, our military background. I hate to keep rolling to that. We spent so much time doing it. It's a big part of our lives. But we got our share of range time, right? Mm-hmm. And as a range cadre, you have to retrain those who didn't qualify first time go, right? Yeah. So we go and we do our PMIs and we have them and we retrain. I will tell you that my most success was having those soldiers that were like, hey, I've never shot a weapon before. I was like, perfect. Let's go over here. Let me show you how to pick up a good sight picture. Let me show you how to control your breathing.
Honestly, a lot of times it was females that went out there on the range.
I wasn't going to go there, but you went there. But yeah.
Well, if it's true, it's true. But it was females.
But I would get them to qualify expert.
Yeah, they would go out on the 100%. Range. They would shoot. They'd be scared, right? So they'd just be terrified, and then come back off the range, retrain them, just get them, used to the weapon so that they're not scared, send them back out, and they just be slamming targets.
Yeah,
and they're
like my wife, when I got her comfortable with her weapon, she's a better shot than me.
And that's totally what happens, man. I can get the wives to shoot better than their husbands half the time.
Yeah. And I told her, I was like, you don't have bad habits. You don't have that what's it called? That like machismo that I know more. This and that,
Okay, wait, sidebar. Yeah. You got to hit the machismo, because I'm sure these two right here have no idea what you're talking about.
Why? Why wouldn't we know? Are you saying?
I have no idea. There you go.
I don't either. But is it because I'm white?
No,
I'm joking.
Are we really starting racism stuff?
No, check it out, man. So I wanted to ask and kind of flip this over. We talked a lot about you as an entrepreneur. We talked a lot about your knowledge in guns and all that stuff, and that's all cool. But we're the Cast and Blast podcast, and we talk fishing and hunting, right? Yeah. Let's talk about your hunting time, man. We love hunting, man. I know you love hunting.
Oh, I do. I love it.
What are some experiences you could share with people who be like, man, I've had, I've dropped this.
You talked about Sendero whitetails too. You mentioned that. So
so we've got a breeder facility. We raise and breed whitetail deer and pop out some big bucks, and we sell them, and so it's kind of the
balance. You're in this industry for a reason,
Yeah, and it gets into the, you start talking about, and this is probably it's probably gonna get into like the high fence, the low fence debate here in a minute, and
let's do it.
Yeah, you really want to go there?
Look, man, it's a simple thing. Look, there's gonna be you either love it or you hate it. You're not in between.
I'm in between.
I'm in between because I don't have access to both. Simple as that. Like, I have access to low fence hunting. I can low fence hunt when I want. I don't have access to high fence hunting.
Okay. Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got a place in South Texas, right?
Yes.
Low fence, high fence?
Low fence.
Are you sure?
100%. There's parts that don't have a fence.
Are there any high fences around?
Of course.
So are you really low fence?
That's the debate.
So I'm all low fence, but the ranch next to me's 3 of their fences are high fence.
That's right.
And then you're sharing a low fence. So are they low fence or high fence?
So let's talk about that, man, because my South Texas people, man, I'm gonna piss them off, and I'm glad I am, because we have these conversations a lot on the side. Well, my fence I've been growing my deer and this and that. Are they your deer? Yeah, you probably bred them.
Well, you
probably fed them.
You have that same issue with low fence property adjacent to low fence.
But bro,
property.
if you don't take them, somebody else is.
So do you want me to end this discussion right now?
I'm super interested in it.
I'm going to like end it for you like right now, and you're going to be like, oh shit, we can never talk about this again because Chad's right.
No, let's talk about it.
Yeah, we argue a lot. So
okay,
yeah.
how about this? How about you like hunting low fence?
Yeah.
I have high fence that I hunt on. How about I'm proud of you that you got a place you can hunt?
Yeah.
You're proud of me. I got a place I can hunt.
Yeah.
And we band together against the people who want to cancel hunting.
So that's what we've talked about. The exact same thing.
You know,
I mean,
why does it always have to be us fighting each other?
That's the same thing. That's the same thing with bow hunters and rifle hunters.
Yeah.
Dude,
you know
whatever.
what I mean?
It's us against them.
It is. And
you know what? We did a whole podcast about
The
exactly
only
what you just
difference with
said.
that is we're able to, as a hunter, you're a hunter, we're the same thing. I mean, which hole are you fishing at the lake?
Right.
You're fishing there. There's
Oh yeah, that's
you
trash
fishing
fish.
brush,
Yeah.
I'm fishing tire. You know, man, it's
bass versus saltwater anglers and all that stuff. We're all with the conservation. We're all doing it because we love the sport, and I call it a sport because it is. I mean, you know,
it's 100% a sport.
We're sportsmen.
You can't argue that it's not a sport.
Well, I train.
So to that,
I'm an athlete.
to the low.
This is the athlete body at its best.
to the low fence people out there.
Yeah.
Okay, I took a guy to our ranch.
Yeah.
And he's like, we're gonna hunt on your ranch, and it's high fence, and you know all this stuff. So we're sitting in we call it the windmill, and so we're sitting there, and this nice 8-point comes out, and it was a little too dark to shoot. I wanted to make sure, you know, it was not like a broken off 12 or something like that. And I was like, all right. And so the next day, we woke up eating breakfast. He says, where do you want to go? He said, I'm going to go back to the windmill. I want to shoot that buck. I'm like, okay. We were there 4 days. We never saw that buck again. And he's like, I just don't understand. You're high fence. You're high fence. Why did I not see that buck again? And I'm like,
what do you not understand about wildlife?
I'm like, dude, this is not, high fence does not mean a killing ranch. Like we talked about the other day. There's hunting and there's killing.
Yeah, that's right.
And I can tell you all the time, especially once the season starts and the bucks start moving around.
Yeah, you get patterns and stuff like that.
You will get patterns.
They're not 100% always exactly going to be on that pattern. I mean, there's and I'm sure even though it's a high fence, you're going to have coyotes out there, you're going to have bobcats out there, you're going to have things that'll move deer as they're on a pattern.
Maybe they pick up a scent that they're just not liking. You know, maybe they're, you know, there's winds, there's all kinds of stuff.
Dude,
you know?
whether it's low fence or high fence. And hey, I could sit here and argue. I went to A&M Kingsville. We went through all this working on the King Ranch and, you know, doing the deer and seeing everything. And there's the debate that, well, you're keeping all the deer out. No. You know, and it's not. I'm keeping my genetics in. Because my major bucks, they've already established. So these bucks that they're throwing, which are what we're trying to grow, they have nowhere to go. They'll go 7 to 11, 12 miles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So all the genetics that I'm creating on my low fence is now leaving to go somewhere else. And the genetics from the other low fence ranch where they're shooting everything is coming in. And these low fence people aren't understanding why, hey, we haven't killed this buck because we want it as a breeder and we're not seeing any improvement. Well, it's because all your bucks are leaving. Now, granted, the does carry the most whenever it comes, but most people don't realize that. So they start shooting all their does, they leave their big bucks, and then all the offspring are leaving. That's a proven collared, tracked it, everything.
Finding new core areas and getting their dominant areas. I think the biggest
there's going to be 10,000 comments about this, and to me, it's simple. It's I do what I do, you do what you do. We're both hunters.
Yeah,
we both fish. We both do our own thing. How about we start to educate, not fight, but educate the people that don't understand the lifestyle.
We did do a whole entire podcast about kind of, I think the biggest argument is you shoot a 200-inch high fence, you know, genetics been just ran through with genetics, and you shoot a true low fence, free range 200-inch whitetail buck, right? So which one has more value? Which one has more bragging rights?
They score the same.
they score the same.
Okay, so you got this guy up in New York who's never hunted in his life.
Lives in an apartment, doesn't even get
it. And he comes down and he gets to shoot this big 200 class deer.
Yeah. Right.
To him, it really he does not understand the difference.
Right. I mean, I'm not arguing the fact. I'm just saying that's how I see it. Is you got the diehards that are like, if I get a chance to shoot a 200-inch class high fence deer, somebody's like, he's yours, take it. I'm said okay, but you have those two differences there, and I think that's where like the diehard hunters are saying, I'd rather have this 200-inch low fence free range public deer, maybe on a public land, rather than a high fence genetic bred deer.
And my whole deal to that is with all the housing developments growing up and all that.
They're not as frequent as
us high fence people are saving deer hunting.
That's a perspective that a lot of people don't have, you know what I mean? But that's great that you shared that.
Hey, like where your house sits, what used to be here.
Oh yeah, this was a haven for them.
Yeah.
You know, and I have seen it, and you've seen it, as we have developed this area. We're seeing the activity evolve.
We got a question.
Yep.
So RJ Flores.
Hold on real quick. Our producer is telling us we have a question coming in. So what's our question?
Yep. So RJ Flores says, what is the first gun you've ever shot?
Awesome.
Oh, good one.
So
for Chad?
For who?
Doesn't say.
I think he's asking for you. For me, my first gun was a 30-30. Lever action 30-30. My dad, I was 7 years old, and he told me, here, I was younger. I was probably, I was living in Sandia, Texas.
Sandia?
Yeah, you know what's up.
Man, yeah.
So I was living in Sandia, Texas, and he pulled me out the back and said, here, pull this trigger. And I did, and I probably busted my whole cheek up and everything with it because I was too small for the weapon, but I'm still trying to get my hands on another one. That's kind of like my next weapon. I want another 30-30 lever
I got
action.
one laying in my closet.
I want one so bad, dude.
What do you want, Marlin? The old school Marlin?
I want a 30-30 open sights. That's what I want for like my field rifle, you know?
Like you saw the one in my case downstairs.
Oh, let's not talk about your
case. That's the first 30-30 lever action that came out. That's the first year with the original Stith mounts and the scope that came with it. I picked it up at a gun show. It's like number one.
Number one.
What was your first?
No, not like serial number.
Oh, I was like, what?
Yeah, it was
it was like one. It was like the first year that.
But that's.
What was your first rifle?
Rifle or gun? He said gun.
Let's go rifle. I know. RJ. I know he's talking rifles.
I mean,
I think
probably a 7mm 08 when I shot my first deer.
Yeah.
I mean, not talking about like BB guns and pellet guns.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm sure, dude, I've been shooting since I was. It's hard to actually come up with that. Because I grew up in the country. Somebody in the city.
I was a city slicker, moved out to Sandia, and that was our first time like being out in the country. You know?
Yeah.
Oh man, I got stories about moving.
I was 8 years old running around carrying guns in the wood. That's all my playground.
I was too.
8 years old. Rifle.
First rifle, probably Remington 700 243. My dad had one, and then that one shot that doe with this year. You know, my
He's
grandpa
still shooting out of the same rifle that he grew up.
My grandpa gave me
like not as a bad thing. Like that's his pride and joy.
That's what I like shooting.
You know, when I'm thinking about what you're saying now, my grandfather bought me a woodchucker, a Vory woodchucker, a little 22. Cut down the stock really short, put a scope on it. I still have that gun. That would probably be, now that I'm thinking about it, and it's in my office. Like you, I got it.
I got it.
That would have been probably my first rifle, but I was a kid, man.
I was too. I was for it, but
I do need to put a new scope, and I don't want to. And I've been trying to squeeze everything out of it, but the scope that's on it, I think, was made in '76.
See,
but I'm still smashing with it.
It's time to like hang that thing on the wall.
I can't. There's something that.
It's pretty though. I mean, it's just so good to look at. RJ, make sure you put in your comment or in the comments below what was your first rifle you shot, and what was your biggest What was your biggest scoring buck that you shot? So put that in your comments, man. If you're watching now, put that in the comments, everybody. What was your biggest scoring
Man,
buck?
we'll start a fight if we start putting biggest scoring bucks
Hey, man,
in
just
there.
put it, you know, I'm not trying to start a competition because this is one thing about me. Like, hey, if your biggest buck was a 120 or something like that, that's your biggest buck. You know what I mean?
120 is not a horrible deer.
No.
Dude, so here's my whole thing about that. It's not about the kill.
It's about the experience.
There you go. And that's what y'all are trying to do with this thing y'all are doing.
Yeah,
that's right.
Y'all are trying to sell
experience.
sell experiences. So these people that have never, like I told you, dude, this is a really funny story, and I'm probably going to have ATF or somebody come knock on the door when I tell this. It's going to get bad. So, like, we're sitting around like...
Won't be the first time.
Yeah, we've had a couple of alphabets hit the door.
So, a bunch of black SUVs can find that. So we're sitting there, right, and... we're talking and talking to all my friends, and this is when we had a president that says some really crazy stuff, and it just came out, and I'm like, dude, and it was Ronnie Shuff, Shuff's Barbecue, is one of my friends. I believe, you
believe he's your friend?
No,
Yeah, that's what I was like.
I believe he killed his first deer with me. I think that's what it was. And my son, first deer, my daughter, first deer. So we're sitting around talking, and I'm like, dude, there's nothing like having a kid sitting in my lap and shooting their first deer.
Yeah.
And then that's just whenever all this stuff with the president came out, and everybody started calling me.
First
lap. So
Sitting in the lap.
you like kids sitting in your lap.
Yeah.
With your leg here too, and it stands up, and I'm like, man.
As long as it's not a picture of you sniffing his hair.
So I've got a picture of that where
Somebody made it a meme.
he's like bent over smelling a deer. It's almost time. I can smell it.
Oh, no.
I mean, but no, man, it's the experience, and I think once you get to experience that with somebody, because after you're a hunter for a while,
Yeah, you take
but it's not a challenge.
That's what you
anymore.
crave, is you crave that feeling of putting somebody on that joy of getting their harvest or their first time.
Yeah.
You crave their feelings more than you
Exactly.
taking your own harvest.
Yes, because like we're MLD, like that. And I mean, it sometimes it turns into where it feels like it's a job.
Yeah.
And you try to explain to people, and they're like, you've killed that many deer this year? And it's like, yeah. And I tell them, okay, so let me put it into perspective so you'll understand. You have a fish bowl, and you've got 300 fish in there. There's a problem. You're going to have to get rid of some fish. Same way at the high fence. I mean, once you start breeding these deer and the population starts growing, you will get to a point to where the decline will happen. They'll get sick. They'll start dying.
Start spreading disease.
Yes, that will all happen. So you have to keep a finite number somewhere around there to where you're keeping your deer to doe ratio, buck to doe ratio, and then your deer per acreage ratio. I mean, it's more than just, hey, we've got a high fence ranch and we're just turning stuff loose on it. But anybody that's ever owned an aquarium or knew anybody that owns an aquarium, you understand that. It gets, and once put it into that perspective, people kind of understand.
Are you guys able to keep the hogs out? Is that a no winning battle? Is it?
So a lot of people don't understand is, which we've watched this, is the javelinas.
Mm-hmm.
So the javelinas are migratory. I mean,
I didn't know that.
Javelinas travel from ranch to ranch.
Oh, okay.
They follow food, they follow water, they follow all that. So one year we'll see 1,000 javelinas. I mean, it's like everywhere we go. And then the next year, they all go.
Yeah, hogs the same way. Yeah.
Hogs, once you do the high fence that normally keeps the hogs out, the javelinas will go through, I don't know if you've seen this, javelinas will go through a coyote hole.
Oh yeah,
dude, they lay on their side and they flop like a fish. Yeah, I know you've seen.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
you're going down the road and you see this thing going.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is that? And it's a javelina flopping.
If you would have stared at that group that was on that highway strip,
on the side of the road, yeah,
you would have seen them doing that because they do some funky stuff, man. That's why they kind of look at them like.
So RJ says, I shot at 410 using slugs, missed my first deer. The next rifle I shot, my first deer, was a 223. I shot off of his shoulder as a parade. His father's shoulder.
Man, that's priceless.
That's
dude.
an experience.
Yep.
See, that's
That's exactly.
That's what it's about, man.
You know, the first deer, my grandfather, he gave me that gun that I told you. The first deer I ever shot was a new stand that he put up on his property, right? And he passed away. So when he passed away, he gave me that gun. And the first deer he shot with that gun was in that stand on the opening day. And, you know, and that very next year after he passed out, he gave me that gun. I went to that stand on the same day at the same time I shot my first deer. That was my first deer experience. And it was like, that's something that was an experience that my grandfather gave me even after he was gone. You know?
Did you see that? He didn't say if it was a buck. He didn't say if it was a doe. It was your first deer with an experience.
Yeah, my first deer was sitting next to my cousin who had been trying to put me on hunts forever. He said, hey, let's go and let's see what comes out, right? I see a buck come out. It's not, you know, he's not huge at all, you know, but he looks at me and he's like, hey, you ain't gonna have many more days in this hunting season, you know what I mean? He goes, you want to take it. And he literally put his hand on me, you know what I mean? Like, take it, you know? And boom, I dropped it. And it's one of my proudest moments, man, because we did it together and we said we wanted to do that and we did it. And it to this day, it's like, that means something to me. If I shared that on a Facebook page, dude, I would get killed because they'd be like,
but you shouldn't.
That's the bad thing. This and that. And that's exactly what you're talking about. It's like, instead of us congratulating, we do it all the time on purpose. We do it all the time on purpose when we see people bashing. Be like, hey, man, congratulations.
Shut them down.
I hope you had a great experience.
So one of my friends, every time he shoots a deer, he laughs at me. Because it's like, we're shooting this deer, it's dead, you know, and I'm like, all right, we need to take pictures. And he's like holding it up, and the deer's like, and I'm like, dude, this is gonna be gross. But it's like, hey, I can't get that tongue to stay in, cut it off. Bring me the wet wipes. Let's wipe the blood off the mouth. Let's
honor the kill, right?
Let's turn it to where there's not blood everywhere. Let's make it look like
that's your diligence as a hunter to those that are not hunters, and we have to do that. We talk about that all the time. You're driving down the highway, you got a deer bouncing in the back of the tailgate, blood dropping down your tailgate.
Not a good look.
Not a good look, man.
No, and that's so that's what gets me. Whenever I see pictures of people with deer and it's like they're laying there and there's like they just gut it and the guts are hanging out and there's blood everywhere and it's like, dude, we're trying to preserve hunting.
That's right.
All this does is cause problems.
Sheds us in a bad light.
Yeah, and you know, there are the guys that are out there that are, you know, screw them. I'm going to do what I want to do.
Yes, you got it.
Nobody can tell me what to do. Nobody.
And you know, but have a little respect and realize that we are fighting this. I mean, it's the same reason that I make the kids or whoever's with me, it's their first deer, they're going to eat part of the liver.
Yep.
They don't understand it now, but, you know, later on when they have their kids and they go, that piece of liver I ate, whether I swallowed it or not, I got the blood in my mouth. So it's kind of that passing your first deer kill onto you, respecting you. It's part of you now. I mean, I know I'm sounding like I'm going a little deep.
No, we do the heart.
Yeah.
You do liver, we do the heart, but same process,
I like
same
to hear
exact
the
thing.
crunch when they're biting into like an apple. I like that, you know, and then the look on their face. But what did I say? It's an experience.
It's an experience, man.
Another thing about the high fence too that we talked about that, you know, I'm not a high fence hunter, but I'm not opposed to it. But you think about the guy that works his ass off all year. He might get 1 or 2 days a year to go hunt. And if he wants to put meat in the freezer, then maybe he's going to pay for that high fence experience because there is a higher likelihood that he will harvest rather than jumping on public land.
You show me one guy that complains about hunting under a high fence, and I'll show you 400 that are drooling at the opportunity to come do it.
That's the only reason that I am like, there's a place for everything. It's not that I don't want to. Trust me, I do.
Well, dude, this turns into the open carry versus concealed carry debate.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to go there, here we go again. We got hunters and hunters against each other.
That's right.
Because, you know, but man, like the natural guys, they're like, oh, I don't hunt in a deer stand, and I don't, you know, I do this and I do that.
To each their own.
And it's like, you know, I hunt, dude, I'll be flat out honest with you. When we're hunting at the ranch, if it's 30 degrees outside, I've got a small heater in the stand with me.
I ain't gonna lie, that's my baby too. That heater buddy is.
Then you get the guys that look at you and go, "Oh, you need to do it like the old-fashioned way." And I'm like, "Dude,
that's me."
I'm like, "Dude,
I do both.
You go
I do
ahead.
both.
Your coveralls are in the aisle next to where my heater is. So until you're ready to go out there in a loincloth,
bro.
you shut up about my heater."
I say that's me. I just enjoy that style of hunting. I don't always do it, but I enjoy it, so I try to do it at the comfort that I can. But one, I'm starting to get a little old and I'm broken.
Yeah, we've been noticing it's getting a little harder, man.
It gets harder.
Dude, when I walk outside in South Texas and it's like 65 degrees, dude, I'm the same way, man. We're gonna do this all natural. I walk outside and it's misted and it's 30.
Bro, those late December days, bro, you're like,
we are not going in the Jeep. We're going in the Toyota, so I can have heater when I go to the stand, and I'm gonna pull out because Dude, the Jeep ride is what kills you.
yeah.
I mean, because you get there and you get out and you're like,
Yeah.
and you get the stand, and then like you become really close with the Jeep. Dude, I can't feel my trigger finger.
I know, put it in my pits. Let me put my hands under your shirt.
Serious.
What's the warmest part on your back? Your crotch. Let me put my hands in your
But no, man, I mean, the whole debate on this, I mean, like I said, as far as I'm concerned, we're all hunters, we're all fishers.
We said a million times, you got your own methods, your own styles, your own reasons of why you do it. So don't hate on the person that does it other than you, because you're not right, they're not right. Or you're not right, they're not wrong, and you're not wrong, and they're not right. All in the same.
I mean, and I knew whenever we brought up this high fence, low fence deal,
It would go.
this was going to be like a 4-hour debate.
It would go.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, man, I tell you what, you hit the nail on the head when you talked about selling experiences, right? And that's what we try to do. And we've had our experiences, we had a great time. But I know you've had your experiences, and I want to ask you one thing.
Yeah.
We have a segment that we like to call, But Did You Die? All right? This is a segment where we ask our guests.
Before we get into that,
Okay.
right? Going through your facility, I've seen a lot of safari animals, African animals and stuff. So Brandon told us that you do a lot of hunting in Africa. So
not a lot.
or some.
My dad does. My dad hunts a lot. I've been twice. I'm going back September. Going back in September again. More of a...
Can we confirm, is it September?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
So, Dad was like, "Hey, I want to go back to Tanzania. I want you to go with me. I want us to hang out, have fun, go hunt." So to me, it's an experience. Sorry, hanging out.
Yeah.
Talking. So it's an experience. So last year was a pretty good experience. I had fun. So this year he's like, "Hey, let's take your son."
Oh, wow.
It's like, "Oh, great. We're taking a 14-year-old to Africa. This is going to be a lot of fun." So, man, I mean, I've hunted in the Yukon. I've hunted Mexico, Africa, not South Africa. We hunt Tanzania. I don't hunt high fence in South Africa.
Yeah.
Come on.
Because that's just not right. You know what I mean? So no, but I mean,
Standards.
So essentially South Africa is game ranches.
Yeah.
To me, if I'm going to shoot, which I've shot a lion, I've shot leopard, I've shot, everything, but that's something I want to do in the area that they're from.
Yeah.
Whitetail deer, they're from here. I don't have any...
That's what you were talking about.
I don't have any need or want to go to a exotic ranch around here to shoot a zebra.
Yeah.
I
think there's probably more exotics in damn Texas than there is in Africa.
Dude, and a lot of them are from India too.
Yeah, Nogai and
Texas changed the game when it came down to that. And you know what? They kind of helped a lot of hunters during COVID when people couldn't travel and they couldn't get to Africa. It did open the game to a lot of people that were able to do the exotics here locally.
The conservation effort behind it. I forget which deer species or antelope. I can't remember which one it is, but
I know black bucks were saved here in Texas.
Maybe it is black bucks, but there's the only population in the world left, maybe a couple in the wild, whatever.
And dude, I have to apologize. I got a broken finger, and I used to use my middle finger to get a dip, and now I have to use my pointer, and I think I just got Copenhagen all over your couch.
It's all right. Our cleaning service comes in at 7 in the morning tomorrow. The crew comes in here.
Maybe. When we get done with the casting on the couch.
Once the editing company comes in and they do their stuff, the cleaning crew.
I just like holding this mic.
Man, so like I said, we got a segment called "But Did You Die?" And that's when we ask our guests whenever they had a they found themselves in a sticky situation where you almost died, or you found yourself in a situation where someone else can learn from your experience, and maybe they can learn from a mistake you made or just something you share in your experience that they don't ever get in that situation themselves. So,
How long do we have?
man, you can take as long as you want.
So you talking like overseas? You talking about South
I'm talking
Texas?
about like
anything.
in a hunting or fishing experience.
But did you die?
But did you die?
You really thought you were gonna?
You were
You
sunk
were like,
in a,
damn, this is it. This is it's game
Okay.
over, man.
Yeah.
And you pulled through.
All right. So I'll start South Texas first. So we've upgraded our rules on our ranch to where whenever you pull up, I honestly don't care who you are. I'm taking your guns from you and I'm putting them in the safe.
Okay.
It's just a
Safe and or cleared safe.
cleared in the safe. Whenever we leave, I get the gun out, has the bolt out of it. Once we get in the Jeep, we start going, we get to the stand, I'll put the bolt in. When it's time to shoot, they can load the gun. When they're done, I unload it, pull the bolt.
Clearly, there was a reason for all this.
But did you die?
We go.
Dude, there has been a lot of people get excited.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've been there.
Yeah,
You know,
I still do.
excitement and guns sometimes don't really mix.
Between excitement, complacency.
Yeah. So I'll just say we've updated our rules, kind of like I've done at the range, because we see things. The guy nearly shot me down there, and it's like, I didn't die.
But did you die?
I did. I'm not really here. I'm Brandon's demon sitting here on the couch.
Oh God, here we go. We'll get into the conversation of.
Are we going to
demons.
talk about chupacabras?
We're going to bring that on another
Brandon.
podcast because I want to open up a whole nother.
Dude, we're going to open up
podcast.
Pandora's box.
Since
we
that
talk about-
conversation we had, I've had some weird shit happen in my house the last 2 days, and I'm
Bro.
not even lying.
Goddamn demons, bro.
I'm telling you, dude.
Thank you.
The witches.
Yeah.
I mean, we just got to.
We have
The
La
chusas. I mean,
Chusa, La Llorona. We have the Chupacabra.
Brandon's over there hiding behind the curtain.
Yeah, because
That's
now we're all cursed.
Hey, that's exactly the curtain you saw that in the other night.
That's right. I
He
saw
just
that.
like stuck his
It was
head
like
back
an
there.
Indian spirit or something.
I know, dude, that's real.
Yeah, tell you, bro. See, this is a whole
Dude,
nother-
that is real.
That's a whole
Indian
nother
spirits.
subject.
Okay, you brought up the Indian spirits, and I'm getting like,
Well, where are we right now? Old Indian territory.
dude, okay. Oh man, I hate to say this, but well, I can say we are right next to a campground.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like literally, and you know, one of like the Galt site that's like right down, essentially right down the road.
Right
That's
down the
one-
road.
That's one of the biggest. Okay, anyways, I'm gonna get off.
Yeah, we're gonna have to open up another podcast session. We're gonna do it.
We're just gonna have to like stop this one and like continue
Stories
talking.
upon
Yeah.
stories.
Okay, so I got an Africa story for you. So, this is a good one. I think everybody will probably, and I've got some more, but this one's probably the best. So it's getting late. It's getting to be to where we're leaving in like 4 days. And I've already shot two Cape buffalo, and I've shot my leopard, and I've shot some other stuff. And so we're riding around, and we're going through this big tall canopies, and we're not really in the jungle. We're more. It looks like West Texas with trees.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go, and like the brakes slam on, and the guys start screaming "Dugga, Dugga, Dugga," and so the Dugga boys are the big, huge Cape buffalo that have been kicked out of the herd. Now they're living on their own, or they live in small groups with other Dugga boys. So I happen to turn, I see this Dugga boy standing there, and he's like down in this little creek bottom. And so I whip around, I've got my 375, and I just kind of I pull it out, I go around the guide, and I get a rest on the truck we're on, and I take a shot, I hit him, right there, lights out, over. So we're all excited. This is great. I just shot this awesome Cape buffalo. I'm really excited. So we get down there, and Trudell looks at me, and he goes, "Hey," he said, "get your lever action." So I got a lever action 4570. He goes, "I want to see what this thing will do to a Cape buffalo." I'm like, "All right." So we start going down, and we're about 50 yards away. And he goes, "Go ahead and shoot him a couple of times. I want to see, shoot him here.
Yeah.
I want to see what your bullet's actually going to do to this Cape buffalo." So we shoot him. I shoot him twice. We're like, okay, we're going to go through. We'll pull the bullets out, which I've got all the bullets because they mostly all get retained in.
Yeah.
It's very rare to get a pass through on something like that. So the guys get out, and I mean, it's the respect thing, like I told you. Do I have some disrespectful pictures from hunting? Yes, I do.
We all do. We do.
Yeah, but that's not, I'm not posting that on Facebook. I'll show y'all here in a second, and you'll be like, what the heck, you know, but so we're down there, we're clearing this brush out of the way. We're trying to take this huge Cape buffalo and trying to turn him so we can get pictures.
That's a heavy animal.
Yeah, he's huge. So we're all sitting there, and the guys are chopping. Me and Trudell are smiling, and there's a guy over there, and he's taking pictures, and you know, he's got my phone, he's got Trudell's phone, and we're taking all these photos.
You were doing this, and I'm thinking like disposable camera.
No,
yeah,
sorry, I take pictures like this. So anyways, we're sitting there, and I'm about from me to you from Trudell, and I just happen to look up, and I see this thing go, oh. I'm like, a bug. So we're sitting there smiling, I see another one. I'm like, what the hell? And then I see another one, and then another one, and another one. And one of the guys starts screaming, Nuki, Nuki, Nuki. And I'm like, Nuki? Here in Africa? And I'm like, what's going on here?
It's all about the Nuki, bro.
So this is what makes the story funny. So then all of a sudden, dude, I hear this like truck engine start up, and it was the bees coming out of the tree. There's this tree like 5-6 feet away from us with this big hole in it, and these bees come pouring out. Dude, there was like 9 of us. I think I had
save yourself, African killer bees.
Dude, it was. I had like 5 trackers with us, Trudell, me, and then we had a game scout. So a game scout goes with you everywhere over there. Tanzania is really big on hunting. That's how they support the villages.
Yeah.
The hunting supports the villages. So anyway, that's another podcast deal. So we're like running, dude, and it's like, get in the vehicle, and these bees are like just banging everywhere, and this vehicle holds 2 people. There were 7 of us in there. And,
I was going to make a joke, but I'm not going to make the joke.
So like, we were pushing people out because the doors were open. We couldn't shut them. And it's like, here you are pushing these people. It was like first one in, go.
People just driving.
Sure, finally got them out, and they started running. Abu was the driver, so Abu's allergic to bees. So he's pushing people out. There's a guy trying to come through the window. These bees are just all over, because we pulled the vehicle down just to get down to the buffalo.
Yeah, you're in the creek bottom.
Yeah. So, man, these bees are hot, man, and we're watching them bang off the window.
Are they African?
They
African killer bees.
They are African killer bees. So we get in the vehicle, we back up, guys are running everywhere, man. It's like, he didn't even care. Like, if they would have been in the way, he'd have ran them over. Abu, we're gone. Dude, we're like 400 or 500 yards away, and they chase us.
Oh my God.
There's still guys running.
And they're kind of attracted to noise. So if you got the truck running,
they're attracted to noise. They're attracted to the exhaust. They're attracted. So here now we're pulling back like half a mile away, and these damn bees are still all over us. And I'm like, what are we gonna do? And Shadell's like, we're gonna have to smoke them. And I'm like, we're gonna smoke them. He's like, yeah, the guys are gonna go down there, and they're just gonna go down there really easy and nice, and they're gonna light some fires, put it by the tree. So here these guys, after they've calmed down a little bit, this is like 2 hours took them to calm down. It's getting dark. So here we go walking down through here, and I'm out walking because, you know, I'm here for the experience, you know?
Yeah, I don't know how much of that experience I want to get involved with, though.
So they get down there and they start smoking these bees.
Yeah.
So I stuck a GoPro on the back of the Toyota so that when we backed up, I would get everything they were doing. And dude, I have never seen anybody over there quarter and cut a Cape buffalo and skin as fast as they did. Dude, it was, I mean, if you'd have stepped out there, you'd had your head cut off if you'd been around the truck. I mean,
yeah, you're going with it.
There's machetes and axes going, and they got this thing all apart and skinned and in the truck. And so it was just like, damn, you know, so we leave, and the guys are licking their wounds, you know, on the back, and it's like everybody's been stung. It was everybody.
Abu's up there like, I'm still alive.
Abu got stung.
Yeah.
He started swelling up real bad, but so like the next night, we're driving, and I go, where are we going? Shadell goes, we're going to get some honey. I was like, we're what? He goes, we're going to get some honey.
The bees are gone.
No, they're still there.
Oh, no, bro.
Smoke them again.
So what do? We pull right up to the tree in the truck, and he goes, oh, just sit here and film this from inside the cab. The guys get out,
Is it an open top Toyota?
The back is.
Yeah.
The front, no. Dude, I've got that thing buttoned up, dude. I mean, we could have probably went underwater and we'd have survived. I'm sticking holes. So they get out and they start smoking this tree. And then he pulls out the axe, dude. They start cutting it open. And the guy's reaching up in there and pulling out all the comb, and they're putting it in buckets, and they're getting stung.
Yeah.
But, they're wiping smoke on them and stuff. So when I go back, I'm taking them bee suits. So I'm like, man, this is great. We got all this honey, and they hate the killer bees over there because they get in the trees. So what they do is they actually make beehives that they hang logs up in the trees that they make.
Okay.
And that's how they normally get their honey. So anything that's in a tree, they want it gone. They want it coming to their stuff. So we get back to camp, and we're at the skinning shed. So normally what you have is you'll have camp, and you'll have the skinning shed, and then where all the skinners are. So you back up, dump your stuff, they clean it up, boil everything, salt the hides, they do all that. So we get out, we got these buckets just of all this comb, and I'm like so excited because here we got this. And dude, as soon as it came out, it's like, you better be getting some.
You got to try it.
Or it's going to be gone.
Yeah.
Because
everyone's just
everybody's
tearing it up.
So I grabbed this big piece of comb, and I'm trying to eat it as fast as I can. We had squished a bee in there.
Oh,
so
no.
this bee, stung my lip, and then stung on the inside of my mouth, and then hit my tongue. So, for the next 2 days, I'm like,
looking like Will Smith.
Yeah, so the bee, so the nuki, that's what they call bees. They call them nuki.
Dude, the irony is, he was like, man, we shot a Cape buffalo, shot a lion, shooting leopards.
Yeah.
I was like, man. So I thought you shot this buffalo and you're gonna walk up and be like,
I thought it was
not dead. Yeah, come up.
I thought it was gonna come back, but
That
no,
happens.
Huge game, big cats, and the bees almost got your ass. That's what's crazy.
Dude, the bees.
Smallest creature. Hey man, that's a good story.
Yeah, it is.
The bees are. So I'll tell you another one if you got time.
I got time.
You got time?
All right, so this is a good one, man. So this is the first time I went to Africa, first time ever. So we're in this camp. It's my mom, my dad, me, one of my friends, his wife. And so we're in this camp in the Slough, which is a national park now. You can't hunt there, but we actually had a concession there. So I'd killed this diker, and this diker, it was either a diker or a dick, I can't remember, but it's like a little bitty.
A diker or a what?
Diker or a dick. So
I just wanted to hear it again.
A dick.
So good, you taste it twice.
So we had
couscous.
we had this little carcass, and me and Eddie were sitting there talking, and he's like, dude, we got to shoot a hyena.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, dude, that would be awesome. And he goes, we're going to do this. So we're going to shoot a hyena. We're going to shoot it in camp.
At camp?
In camp. In camp. Not like at camp. I'm talking in camp. So, this gets good.
Yeah, but did you die?
Yeah. So, nearly. Unbeknownst to me. So, anyways, I'm a real smart genius. So I'm the one laying on the tent floor with this diker carcass tied to a string.
Being bait?
Toe.
To your toe.
I'm laying in the tent on the floor in between Eddie and his wife.
Whatever happened, you deserved it.
So we set this diker carcass in the middle of camp. And so it's it's thatch around camp, right? But before we did, I went to this.
Right?
What?
You know what I'm gonna say.
I think I know what you're gonna say.
What are you gonna say?
That's white people shit.
Eddie is Cuban.
Oh,
so I had a Cubano with me.
All right, cool.
And he didn't have a dick tied to his toe, though.
No, I didn't. So before we went to bed, I went to the skinning shed, and I cut all this meat off of this eland that we had killed, and I chunked it up into little cubes. So before dark, I stuck some under the tent that we were in, and there was a back thatch gate. So I just started dropping these chunks of meat out the gate, down the road. Like I actually walked out, and I'm baiting. So
there's lions around too.
Bro, there's
lions, leopards. Leopards come up to the skinning shed and eat.
So let me just leave a trail.
It's
to where I'm sleeping.
It's not South Texas.
You're hoping for a hyena, but you don't know what you might get.
You get eaten in your sleep at night. They come in. They're in camp. They will come into camp. So they try to keep everything really clean.
They say you only live once, but you only die once too, bro.
So I'm laying there, and I open my eyes, and I feel a little tug.
On your toe?
Yeah, and I'm like,
It's not like a catfish bite.
I'm like, no, it is. It's like a trout bite. It's like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So,
I know trout.
Oh, not yet. No.
Wait.
So I reached down and I pulled the string off my toe, and now I'm holding it in my hand. I got my rifle next to me. I'm laying on the floor. Eddie's wife is sleeping in the bed here. Eddie's sleeping here, and I'm laying on the floor. So I've got the string in my hand, and I reach up and I tap Eddie, and he, and he looks over and he kind of shines his flashlight, and I'm like, and then it's gone, like out of my hand, like gone. And he's like, let's go. So we jump up with our rifles in camp, like at the fire pit.
Tied to his toe.
Dude, I'm barefooted.
You just saved your toe,
in
though.
my underwear with a wife beater on. A typical white boy shit. I mean, that was me.
Kid Rock blasting.
Yeah, Kid Rock. So, dude, we run out, and there's this. We run out, and there's a hyena that like runs right through camp, and I'm like, here we go. So we chase it, and we're on the edge of a creek. So like, there's this big 10-foot embankment that goes down to the sand creek that's one side of camp. We shine the light down there, dude. There's like 50, 60 hyenas running around down there. And it's chaos.
One really brave.
Are they making some kind of crazy noise?
Crackling. When we hit them with the light, dude, they started like screaming and calling. And I mean, it's everything you hear.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get a shot off. So I'm like, couldn't make it happen. It wasn't going to happen.
You know why you couldn't get a shot off? Because they took your dick from you.
I know. So I go to bed. I go to my tent and I go to sleep, right?
We have to show our producer how to use those buttons that have laughs and drum rolls.
Yeah. So the next morning, I'm sitting at the kitchen table, and it's the little table where everybody eats. And my mom comes up to the guide, and she's like, to Gamsherd, and she's like, I don't know what to tell you, but there was something going on last night. I think Chad was involved in it. And I'm like, oh, God. So Dad walks up and he goes, there were lions in camp last night. And I'm like, lions? He goes, come here, look. And we look down, and there's lion prints in camp.
Oh, man. So
he goes, and I found a carcass over by our tent. So I went over there and looked. There's our carcass with a string still tied to it. And the lion prints everywhere, right next to where my mom was sleeping. So mom's sleeping here, and this lioness grabs this carcass and runs and steals it from the hyenas and is laying right next to my mom eating this carcass. And my mom thinks it's my dad snoring. So she's yelling at him for snoring, and he's like, it wasn't me, I don't know what you're talking about. And then they saw the lion prints. So it was like turned into like a big deal. Here, y'all ran out last night, and there's like lions in camp. But the funniest thing was, whenever we got
You're out there with nothing but your dick in your hand.
Yeah. So when we got out there, we came back, and Debbie wasn't in bed. And Eddie's like, where's Debbie? We're looking like she's not in bed, but they had like a big tall dresser. She's on top of it. Because when we got out, the hyenas came from the backside and started, because I had stuck some under the tent. So I could hear them.
Never hunted with this guy.
No. So like they start digging under the tent, under her bed, and it wakes her up and freaks her out because here's hyenas trying to get under the tent.
As it should have.
She's like on top of this dresser, and we look up. We're like, "How did you get up there?" And she goes, "I don't know." And she's like, curled up.
I'll tell you how she did. She jumped backwards in one leap and was like, "That's what I would have done."
So my dad got ran over there. Wound up surgery, skull cut out, buffalo charge. He shot it, and when he shot it, he shot one, and the second one circled and came at him. Mm-hmm. He turned, got a shot.
So he still got eyes on the one he shot.
Yeah,
watching.
And this other one disappears, comes up, came at him. He shot it. When he did, the bull threw his head up, and he had his gun down, and it took all the skin off his arm. The big boss did when it hit him, threw him in the air. The only thing that saved him is he landed on his back. So when he landed on his back, he hit his head. He says, the last thing I remember is this nutsack going over my face. And he said, when I hit my head, he was out. He hit so hard it concussioned him out. This bull turned around. He'd already been shot. He hit him right over the top and started reaching down and hooking him and throwing him in the air.
Damn.
Well, these Duggar boys, when they get big, dude, their horns are all worn down. They're not sharp and pointy anymore. So this bull, every time he threw him, Dad landed on his back, and he had a Carhartt jacket on. Shout out to
Carhartt.
Yeah.
That's what I used to get deer out of the South Texas
So, like,
brush.
they grab him, they think my dad's dead. And they're dragging him to the Jeep, and he comes to, and he's like, what are y'all doing? And they're like, oh, Bona, we thought you were dead, you know? And so, yeah, he came home, he flew home. I mean, did everything. And then one day I'm on the job site demoing a slab, and he pulls up, and he calls me, and he's like, I need you to, like, come get me. And he's taking me to the hospital. I'm like, give me a second, let me park the machine. He said, you don't understand now, I can't see. And so I got to jump out of the machine. I get in the truck, drive to the hospital, brain surgery.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, all that
That's
stuff.
scary,
So, I mean,
dude.
he's got this thing that when we go over there, he's like, Buffalo. I'm going after
Taking
Buffalo.
He's got a big
taking
belly.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. And he just.
So he's good now, though. I mean, he's
Yeah.
recovered.
I mean, he's recovered. But yeah, man, I mean, the Buffalo stuff, dude,
How do you feel
Aren't
about the
they-
Buffalo
aren't they
now?
like
Are you like George Jr., man? You want to go to war with them?
Man, you know, I got to the point to where I've been over there, been there, done that. I enjoy it. I enjoy being over there. It's not so much about this time. It'll be about my son shooting. I've shot everything.
You've experienced it. It's time to share
I've done
that.
it. I want to have my son do something.
That's beautiful, dude. That's pretty cool, man.
So back to experience.
I'll call you Dad.
Gonna go
Yeah, you can claim me on your taxes.
bring the dick with you.
Brother, we appreciate you coming on this podcast with us, man. I just realized that. Man, and we're going to do this, a lot, man. So we bring you on, get to share a lot of more of your stories and stuff. It's been a pleasure today.
So real quick, upgrade.
I think it's time
There's,
to
think
upgrade
it's
some
in store?
improvements, man. I think the people are going to really enjoy what they see.
Do y'all want to see an upgrade? Everybody want to see an upgrade?
We're about ready.
Backdrop.
We're about ready to end season 1.
We are. We were talking about doing,
change
different
to the
backdrop
backdrop.
and doing,
So maybe
big
season
changes.
2.
That would be great if you knew somebody with a gun range that had like this media room that y'all could like set up in. That would just be awesome.
Man, we need to go find a
I guess we better get busy looking, Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me start looking around. I'm sure y'all can find somebody.
Man, I hope you guys enjoyed staying live with us. And if you didn't stay live with us, you'll be able to go back and watch this a million times. We're gonna edit this up and toss it. Well, we're not gonna edit it. We're just gonna chop it. We're just gonna chop it and put it, and make little shorts and stuff
Parts
and share
ones,
that with
twos,
you.
and
I'm all about short, dude.
Man, thank you for coming out, man. We enjoyed your stories, man, and we enjoy.
I got a feeling there's more stories we need to hear, though.
Dude,
Yeah.
I think there's a trip to the ranch at night with some mics to teach these white boys about La Llorona and
the chupacabra, because we're gonna hear them.
Oh, so real quick before you stop, there's one story that we missed last time that I have to tell you.
Okay.
I got to tell you this. So there's like 4 or 5 of us in the Jeep.
Do we need to keep the cameras rolling?
Yeah, you need to keep the
All
cameras
right,
rolling.
keep the cameras rolling.
So I'm
going.
about to freak all out.
All right.
So, we get in the Jeep.
You did a pretty good job with the dick. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm glad you enjoyed that. Are you married, by the way?
I am.
Your wife loves that. So we're headed to the ranch house, right? And we're going. We don't have cows. Like, there's no cattle on our property. There's deer.
Yeah.
Javelinas, hogs, that kind of stuff. Something crosses the road. Looks like a cow.
This is in South Texas.
Yeah, this is on our ranch. No cattle. I see it. We catch it going in the brush. Everybody else saw it too, but nobody said anything because we're right by the house.
Okay.
So we get to the house, and I'm kind of like in this, what was that I just saw? Because it wasn't a deer.
Yep.
It wasn't a cow. It wasn't a javelina. It wasn't a hog. Like, we've had this place for 20 years. I've never seen this before. So we're all sitting around eating, and all of a sudden it's like, somebody goes, hey, did y'all see that on the way to the house?
Let's talk about it. Yeah.
And then everybody was like, yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I saw it. And I'm like, I saw it too. I don't know what it was. And so they were like, how about we move this conversation inside? So we moved this conversation inside, and we start hearing this sound on the out, dude. Here we go again. start hearing these sounds outside. And then I start hearing like knocking on the wall on the outside. And I know, man.
What was the other
My
sound that
knuckles
like
are
you
getting
was?
hard right now. I mean, that's how
What was the sound before the knocking you were hearing?
like something
Screeching?
out there making grumbly, weird noises that I've never heard before.
Completely foreign.
Did it feel demonic?
Look at my nipples, how hard they are right now, man. I mean, it's
Bet it felt demonic, bro.
so.
This was before or after the story about the Ouija board?
So this is way before.
Alright.
Yeah. So I didn't hit on that because that creeps me out. Because dude, I track deer out there at night.
Yeah.
I told you about my deer story at night tracking.
So, can I ask you a couple questions? Because I've seen some weird stuff out there,
Yeah.
and I don't want to freak you out.
You were probably about to. You realize I go down there by myself a lot.
Did it have a hunchback?
Yes.
Okay.
And it was a dark brown,
It was a dark animal. Back was hunched, right?
like the
Like a very distinct arched back.
Oh God.
Yes, right?
Yes.
Angel said it was El Yeti.
El Yeti.
Oh my gosh.
Hey man, it could have been. Nah, we don't have that down there.
Somebody
It's
said,
up north. Those
Yeah,
are up
you
north.
got
I got
those
story.
up north.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we
got
got-
said it was a bear, and I was like,
No, it's not a bear. There's no bear. Well, I can't say there's no bears.
there's bears
There's
down
bears.
there, but they're further south by the
Bro.
mountains, by like Monterey and stuff.
I saw an animal down south one time, bro. I don't even want to talk about it because you're gonna think I'm full of shit.
Hey, dude, the stuff I've seen down there. No,
Angel, I'm sure you've seen some crazy stuff down south too, bro.
Yeah,
Hey, look, dude,
we got to do a whole ass podcast.
we're gonna do a whole. I'll tell you what, we're gonna do a whole ass podcast about stuff we've seen in the woods, like, and we got stories.
Or
And
in
we,
the city.
Okay, so Brandon,
or yeah,
a demonic figure. in
yeah.
the living
So
room on
we
the
have some
couch.
stories, man. I think we need to be doing this like around a round table.
Campfire and campfire.
We need, so yeah, so we need to go to the ranch. We need to go to our ranch.
Yeah.
Us 3, 4, however many I can't count right now.
Yeah.
And we need to set this equipment up outside in the dark, like behind the fire.
Well, we got some
we'll
mics
sit
that we
there-
can set up, and we just needed some better lighting because we tried it one time and it didn't work out well. Just the campfire lighting.
Well, you want enough so that the eyes behind you show up whenever we're talking.
It's over 100 degrees out. And you want to light
Yeah,
a
we
fire,
can't.
like-
Yeah, we can't.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, there's some stuff down there.
Dude, I'm telling you.
And my guys, talking to my guy, like the guys that work for us.
Yeah,
I was telling you,
they got stories.
Oh man,
Bro, I got stories. There's a whole.
There you go. It says Cast and Blast After Dark.
Oh
Hey. I can't
Have
you
you-
have a
have you
little
heard of the
flashlight
Blue
like
Lady?
this? Just not be like, I know a place not too far from here where once a man dared to roam by himself in his chones.
yeah, dude. Well, you've been out there at night by yourself.
Bro, I'm telling you, dude. So my best times out in South
Guys, we're still like going live, right?
my best time.
yeah, I think so.
My
Are we
best
good?
time-
Like, are we?
I mean,
Yeah,
we've
it's-
exceeded all expectations.
We're
of
on Facebook now, so we
time
can
and
cut it on
respecting
YouTube.
other people's time. Like we've worn out those welcomes.
We still got people watching too.
Angel says, count me in. RJ says, make it a Halloween episode. Cast and Blast podcast Halloween special.
There you go. Hey, we'll call it El Cucuy.
Oh my god!
What does
That's
that
not-
mean?
That's not that white people shit. What are you talking about?
Just open up a whole nother can of worms there, man. I mean, man, there's so much superstition down there. It's
I
crazy.
think that's everywhere though. Like, I mean,
There is
when
regional.
you get
regional
out in the
folklore.
country, you get out in rural areas. I mean, there's so much superstition. Like everything you talked about down there up north.
Well, you got the Salem witches. You got, down south we got freaking. I'll go ahead and tell you what I've seen, and I'm gonna freak you out. But I saw a goat-looking figure with a human head. I'm gonna leave it like that.
All right, so there's like 6 different representations of chupacabra, right?
And I
Which one?
believe you.
All right.
Which one is chupacabra?
Chupacabra is
No,
like-
I know what chupacabra is and
It's
which
the
one it
goat
is,
sucker.
but there's like
Most Wednesdays.
but there's like 6 different representations of it, of what it looks like. So what does it look like in that area of South Texas?
What are you talking about?
So there's the
one in South Texas? Like our you're talking about what do we see or what people say it is?
Yep, exactly.
It depends on what they're smoking or what they're drinking.
Yeah.
But I do believe there's stuff out there.
I do believe there is.
There's shit out there that we don't know. I absolutely.
Why do you think I'm so respectful with the animals I kill?
Yeah, you don't want to have that bad juju, bro.
No. Yeah. So like the chupacabra, I mean, like a lot of the stuff you see, it's like a hairless coyote. I mean,
when you see those, but I mean,
but you know what it's really made for? So Mexican people have this thing about scaring the hell out of their kids. You know? That's why. Am I wrong? La chancla.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Have you seen the video where like the kid's like 3 states away and mom throws la chancla and it like flies 3 states away and smacks him in the head?
Or through that car windows driving down the road.
Or when they do the huevo. When they so my mom used to pray on me whenever I was sick, and she would do like the sign of the cross with an egg and do all that stuff all over my body, and then crack it under my in a bowl under my bed and put it under my bed for the evil spirits, because they gave me ojo, right? And you would go look at that egg and it'd be like boiled. One time we cracked open an egg and it was blood red.
That's like your mom over there, like cooking it at night.
In the Philippines.
No, there's like, man, there's
so many systems.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of the
Let's
Hispanic,
talk about it, bro. Let's make a whole podcast
Let's
about
do
it.
it.
Yeah,
let's make it.
Okay.
Let's talk about.
Because you know the La Llorona came out.
Yeah, they have a movie on Netflix.
They have a movie on Netflix.
We got our own version of that.
Dude, it's different in life, though, man.
There's a place down in Corpus called Ropes Park. And you go
really? You're gonna bring that up, dude?
Hey, we can go down there with a Ouija board.
No, dude, you will. Oh my God, you will not bring a Ouija board to the ranch.
Yeah,
no.
We don't have to bring it. We'll just make it.
Hey, dude, if we're gonna do a Ouija board,
I'm gonna have a gypsy make it.
Okay, I was gonna have a Mexican with like good wood carving skills.
hey, Tio, here's this casket we dug up. Yeah. Make a Ouija board out of it. Oh, funny. So yeah, we're still going. Screw it. Who cares? So like, one of my friends took me to Mexico, and I was eating the stuff out of this one of the little comals, you know, the little cart vendors, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, this is really, really good. I was like, what is that? And he goes, no sé, es chivo. Mi tío, no sé, no dice nada. And I'm like, your uncle?
Yeah.
And he goes, you never know. And I was like, oh my God. He said, here, I'm eating your deal.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, he's like, don't ask questions. If
it's good, it's good. Yeah, with Mexico, you don't ask, bro. You just eat. But man, there ain't nothing better than those little taquitos de cabrito and everything,
bro.
man,
the lingua?
Oh,
like when they make the little lingua tacos and they cut it up in little cubes.
Down in South Texas, dude.
Yeah, you come up here, like some of the Mexican food here is like, horrible. It's really good, but then some of it's like terrible. Like, yeah, so like down there, like in Kingsville, it's like, hey, what do you want?
Yeah.
You know, I want this. Okay, we're going here.
Yeah.
You know, what do you want this?
Sure.
I want this. Well, we're going here. So like there's a place across the street from me in Kingsville. They do a chicken fried steak. This is one of my favorites. And they put cream of gravy, like the canned cream of gravy, and they mix like some jalapeno stuff in it. And my wife just thinks it's disgusting. But I'm like, these Mexicans down here, they're like legit making this stuff. Going,
what's that place?
It's not Tapatio or El Corral. It's
There's a famous place down there that made like best of the best in Texas and everything in Kingsville.
They put canned gravy on chicken fried steak,
dude. It's awesome, man.
So that's not this place.
No, this is right across. It might be Tapatio.
This is a different one. It's a small little family thing. Matter of fact, they're not even Mexicans that are cooking. They're from India.
Really?
Yeah, and they throw down, bro. I just saw them on Texas State Traveler or whatever. Like, they get down. And when they were interviewing them, and they were just like speaking Spanish dialect and everything, I was like, it's like you when you start speaking Spanish to me. I was like, this dude grew up in South Texas.
Like Lydia's. That's where we always got our tacos. You know, so there's always like that place you go, you know.
Hey, well, let's wrap this up, man, so that we can close out this segment, and then let's start planning our next one.
Oh, man.
Because I already got an idea, and you do too, of what our next podcast is going to be about, and we can just go into it with stories of South Texas encounters.
in the dark.
Well, I got some North Texas and South Oklahoma stories to share.
Let's
Then
do
it's
that.
gonna be
Let's
some
talk
crazy.
about those weird things that you think debunk these stories. Maybe we do a little research and see how many other people saw what we saw. Right? Let's do that.
Yeah. Do y'all have the blue lady down there? Heard of the blue lady?
Nah, there was a blue lady.
I know we're gonna end it. I'm just wondering.
There was a blue lady, but I think she was on meth or something. But.
Right? Yeah. The Lampastus mermaid too. But she was red.
Yeah.
Dude, this stuff's crazy down there. My wife worked for the sheriff's department and in the police department, and I mean, the worst was when they got the call around Halloween, and the dude's cut his thing off, and he's writing his name on the fence with blood.
That sounds like some Florida stuff.
Dude,
That's some stories you hear about.
I thought I was when I would get drunk and piss my name in a wall, but that was taking it to
next.
You got nothing on that guy.
It's
man.
hey, watch this.
It's what do you say? Put down the weapon? I mean, how big was this thing?
The size of a dick.
I don't know if I could hold mine like that and get enough blood out of
Holding
it.
a baby in your hand?
All right, so South Texas stories in the dark. We're gonna go to the ranch.
Let's do it,
set
brother.
the campfire up. You know some people down there, so we can bring them out and scare these
Hell
guys in
yeah.
the brush.
You're not gonna scare me. I'm not gonna get scared.
Oh,
Bro, you got scared when we were out in the woods last time, dude. Your son was freaking playing tricks on you out there in the dark.
What?
Or were you scaring him? I think
I was scaring him. Yeah, I was like, bro.
I got scared of the brown recluse I saw. That was.
Oh yeah, that's nothing.
that's every day, man.
Yeah, we're not talking
There's a
about
spider in here, and I'm like, white
You're-
people, dude.
Yeah, you're gonna see way more brown spiders.
I live at night in the woods. I'm ready for it. So it's a challenge. Scare me.
All right,
Oh no.
yeah, you just
More than pendulums.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go.
There's nothing like being dropped off in the middle of the brush and saying, I'll be right back to get you and drive away.
all you got is that bright moon. You do all right. This dude, he does really good out in the middle of nowhere.
Dude, we could just probably park around the corner and just stop, and you would hear,
We gotta do it downhill because it's easy to look down.
oh,
from
yeah,
uphill.
you gotta drop
gotta
them to
go
the
down.
bottom when it's cold, and you hear, God damn it! What the hell is that?
Just don't wear white hay-dos in the woods.
Oh god.
Yeah, the mesquite thorns go right through that.
Yeah. There's a story there,
Yeah.
and it wasn't me wearing them.
Nah. Hey,
I took it as a challenge.
let's wrap this up today.
He's like, let's
Let's
go.
plan our next episode, man. It was a lot of fun with you today,
Oh, man, it was great.
I hope
enjoyed
you
it.
guys had fun joining us. And like I said, man, we're going to be doing a little bit, we're going to be planning our next one where we might bring you back and you might like some of these stories. You might have your own stories. And let's go ahead and get that going, man. If you're watching now and you have your stories about some weird encounters you've seen out in any part of the world, I don't care what it is. You've been out in the hunting and fishing and stuff, and you see something that you might say, hey,
Afghanistan giant.
yeah,
Who knows?
you never know. So drop those in the comments, man. Go to our YouTube channel, or drop them in the comments because we're gonna edit this up and drop it in YouTube too, man. So
Or put it in the comments here. Either one.
Yeah.
or put it in both so that we grow freaking a bigger following on both
Please,
channels.
both. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Oh, go check out my page. Come see me.
Yeah, so tell people where your business is.
He's like, hey, we gotta shut this down like an hour.
No.
It's like, hey, okay, let's keep going.
Hey, I could cut a whole hour out of the middle and just put you in the back talking about your business. No, but
You would put
tell
me in
people
the
where.
back, wouldn't you?
That's racist. Just tell everyone where they can find you. I'm talking about geographically located here in Texas,
All right.
and where they can find you on social media.
So it's SenderoShootingSports.com. Yeah, thank you, Brandon.
Shout out
And,
OMG.
Yeah,
OMG.
OMG.
What's OMG?
Man.
Oh my God. What can I say about OMG? OMG marketing. That's Brandon's deal.
Yeah, we're gonna drop a link. We're gonna drop a link in this thing. If you guys are out there and you need help setting up a website, marketing.
Let's get in close. Come here, Brandon. Come jump in here.
Yeah, come up in
Brandon,
here.
come
Yeah.
on. We'll get you in on the
We'll make you a
next.
spot right here. Come on.
Yeah.
You know how I like little kids sitting in my lap.
Yeah. So when you
Snipping
need
hair.
somebody to build a website for you, you need a search engine optimization, you need marketing assistance, business help, consulting.
Business consulting, yes.
Gosh,
Dude,
we all
Business
have benefited
anything.
from that business consulting.
Yeah, all of us, man.
But listen, man,
Belton, Texas.
Belton, Texas. What's the address?
It's 3360 West US Highway 190.
We'll drop it in the description on the YouTube.
Yeah.
So we'll put that in there and put the link. And
we got some great stuff coming up. I know we opened right during COVID, so it's been kind of difficult on us getting on our feet, but now we finally got a bunch of USCCA stuff coming in.
Okay.
I'm about to become a USCCA instructor myself. We're going to start running classes every day.
Nice.
And events every month. So our silencer event was a blast. Wish y'all had been out there.
Yeah,
I'll be at the next one though.
Yeah, for sure. And we got to see a little bit of on your social media on Facebook and stuff.
Oh yeah, the July 4th deal. We've got to come in and shoot for $17.76.
Come on, man!
And never drop
anywhere in Texas for $17.76. Shout out our
rifle range, pistol range.
Man, get down to the Sendero Shooting Sports Range in Belton, Texas. It's right off the highway, so you don't have to go off the beaten path.
In the AC, you'll keep a dry brow the whole time. Never have a drop of sweat.
Whole family, man. Like there's something for everyone. They even got
there's kid
game room where kids can play with tabletop games. There's
full auto machine guns.
They can play with full auto machine guns.
we just turned them loose.
They'll give them a hatchet and machete for fun.
Dude, we just give them a belt fed 30 and go have fun. Play the Lego table.
If they're patient enough, they can register for a suppressor for that. So,
that's right.
Bring your kids in and get a class. Teach them how to shoot.
Yeah, my son's 14. He went through his first rifle class this morning.
Yeah, man, it's there's a lot going on. Go to the website. Go to Sendero Shooting Sports on Facebook. They have a great website. I know a guy who helped them on that website, and they did a phenomenal job.
OMG, you quit. Oh my God, you keep bringing up this OMG thing.
OMG.
He's great though. But no, I mean, if y'all are going to come down, just do me a favor. If you plan on coming to shoot, go to our website, fill out our range waiver. That'll speed up the process a little bit when you come in.
And if you're not, it doesn't take a long time, and it's a great video and great
which we're about to update.
Brief. Yeah.
Text marketing, we're sending out all our stuff. Sign up for our text marketing through the waiver. And
you guys are planning more classes. You do the concealed carry. You do. You just had a rifle safety class.
Oh yeah, we had an AR, pretty much like an intro to an AR.
Yeah.
But we actually went in the range and shot, and I took the class yesterday. Hunter took it this morning, so it was great to be able to send my son in with some competent instructors that I trust, because I'm dad. I get a little. So it was, hey, your son did great. He got a certificate saying he completed this class. He's all proud of himself. Can run an AR now.
Hey, can I turn the lights off in there and shoot in the dark?
So we do have a thing to where if you want to come and shoot in the dark right now, you have to rent the full range.
Okay.
We have to have an employee in there just for safety reasons, so things don't go bad. We do thermals. We do night vision.
So it's an option.
So yeah,
it's not. It's not.
Yeah,
outside.
we just ask, if you're going to do it, come in first thing, set it up with us before we open, so that 30
But you know how many people don't ask that because they think it's completely outside the realm of a possibility. But
it's a safety issue, is what it is. I mean, we're turning people loose in the dark, and my insurance company just cringes when I say that. But I mean, we're the guys that have done it. It hasn't been an issue. We've said, hey, you got to rent the range because I can't let other people in there unless you're coming in early. We'll set it up, but that has to be set up. You can't just walk in and go,
hey, I want to shoot
I want the range. It's not I got people in.
I ask because there's people that want a 0 with their thermal or 0 with their IR.
Well, I mean, the thermal, you can do that with lights on.
Yeah.
No problem. We just ask you don't bring in the hand packets.
Yeah.
I lick my thumb, stick it on the target, run it out there. The hand packets, when people are shooting them, they're actually burning the sealer on the floor.
Oh,
so it's getting to where it's eating the sealer off the concrete.
It's pretty sealer.
I mean, we're accommodating to everybody. As long as we can have the option to, let's sit down and talk, find out what you want, what your need is, and we'll try to make that happen. Of course, you can't really do that on a Saturday when they come in. And
have you ever done a birthday party there where people are like, hey,
we've had birthday parties come in. We've had divorce parties. We've had
divorce parties.
That's where I would.
Corporate events.
Yeah, that's what we were.
We've got several corporate people that come in and they do corporate events.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's.
And you guys rent weapons. You rent guns there as well. So say corporate or a party comes in and they don't bring any firearms, they can rent from you as well.
As long as they've got some sort of experience You know, if not, we'll try to go into the range and help them, or be like, hey, you know, if you got a bunch of people that aren't shooters, we would really prefer them go through one of like my class that I teach.
Yeah.
So I'm teaching you about guns, fire, back to safety again.
Safety.
I would rather everybody leave with the same amount of holes they came in with.
Hello.
I mean, I haven't patched anybody up. There was this guy that came in that was just sitting at the table, and he was messing around with his guns, and I was like, dude, you got to stop that. He's like, oh, it's okay, it's not loaded. And I was like, yeah, there's never a gun that's loaded. I said, here's what's going to happen. I said, you're going to do something stupid here in a second, and hopefully it's not me that gets shot. I said, you know, if anybody does it and you do something stupid, it's going to probably get you. And let me tell you what, I've got some decon needles that I'm just dying to test out. And, dude, I've watched some great videos on YouTube on how to patch people up. You can be my first. I'm just waiting. And he's like,
just so you know, I don't use needles for IVs. I expedite and go in the backside. So we're gonna go that route. So I'm gonna hydrate you at the fastest, most expeditious.
That's two different. That's apples and oranges, though.
Oh,
we're not talking about a heat casualty here.
okay, all right. Well,
dude, this dude I was talking to, he's like,
you just like the backside.
He's like, you want to find this? You want to find the second one down? This is where you want to go through. And I went like this. I went, oh my gosh. And he goes, that's even better, dude. I'll get you right here. And I'm like, oh. And he goes, I can hit you there too. And I'm like, dude, you can get me like anywhere. He goes, man, he said, I fight with people on the ground who've been shot that are hypertension thorax, hypopneumothorax. He said, we got to get that out. He said, I'll get you wherever I can. He said, you'll look like a pincushion when I'm done with you.
Hello.
He said, but I'll save you.
Sounds like my ex. Well.
We got to get out of here, man.
Yeah, man.
Why don't you cut us off, and just stop
this?
this?
It's so much fun just hanging out.
This happens every episode.
Keep the camera rolling, man. You know what I mean? Because even though there's people watching live, they're like, keep coming back on. They're like, oh my gosh, those guys are still on. They're still watching. And even though there's a way we can edit this and chop it up into 4 episodes, we still got the content. If we didn't keep the cameras rolling, we wouldn't have the content. So
yeah, I'm just glad nobody's like tripped over the table or fallen or spilled.
Well, the longer we stay, that's still a possibility. But yeah, I think we did a good job.
Rolling, everybody's passed out on the floor.
Job, yeah.
I do have one question for you, and I swear to God we can like stop this.
Okay.
Is there a scent of candle that you do not have in your house? Go. Dude, I'm a scent guy. So I have a problem when it comes to the house, the smell and all that stuff, and I want it to smell a certain way, and I'm seasonal. I'll go through them or whatever. And it ain't even my wife, bro. It's me.
It's all you, huh?
Yeah.
It's you?
Yeah, it's not my wife.
So did it happen downrange, like in our chews, right?
Yes.
Because everybody went through that with
through the candles. So going downrange with our chews and stuff, like, dude, you have to share living quarters with some stinky motherfuckers. So you start off by going, hey, I'm freaking lighting this candle, right? And then after that, it just became a thing. So now I'm like, I need a candle. I need to do this. So,
it's like every room has a different smell to it.
Yeah, it's
and I look and there's a candle, and then I look over here, there's another candle. Dude, it's like I'm waiting to see the pentagram on the ground.
That's
where you sell these candles.
That's Brandon.
I wait for y'all like, hey, you want a drink? You want a drink? And I'm gonna wake up and like half my blood's gone. I'll be laying in the middle of a pentagram. That's kind of
end up in a bathtub and ice all around him, kidneys gone.
Oh my God! Yeah, what happened to my kidneys?
Well, that's the
at least it's not Febreze and Axe body spray. That's too. If I smell Febreze and Axe body spray,
that's another one. Yeah,
dude, it's Fabuloso at my house in the range. Fabuloso.
Fabuloso. I like that smell, man. It makes me feel comfortable. I'm like, I'm at home here. Yeah.
When you go down and take a shower, I'm going to replace at my place every bottle. I'm going to pull it with Fabuloso. The purple.
Yeah,
it's got to
be the purple.
Yes, the purple.
Yeah,
no, it's the green, man.
Antifreeze. You're going to come out smelling like a batch full of flowers. It's going to be great. All right,
all right, man. Let's cut this, man. Hey, I hope you guys enjoyed.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
Here on the Cast&Blast podcast. Kind of something different. different. We just wanted to have a good time with you guys, and we did enjoy that. If you guys enjoyed watching this live with us, and this is kind of what you want to see more of, we'll do it. We'll do it more often. If you want to see shorter episodes, tough shit, because this is how we like doing it.
What's happening?
Yeah. All right, man. So we're signing out. Pinche Ben, Jimmy, Cast&Blast Podcast, Sendero Shooting Sports. Go check us out on
See you
social media.
soon.
We'll see you guys.
Thanks,
on the next
guys.
one.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.